Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Refcast Craft Corner. How is everyone doing?
Good morning.
I am here. I'm doing good. Good morning. And everything's going to be great. I'm going to be working on my crochet. But I do want to show you something before I do. I will be talking to Audie shortly to see if she'll be not joining me in it, but, talk to me while I'm doing it. Let's see. So I am here. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know what's going on. Oh. Okay, not a problem, Audie. How are you doing? And I'm sorry to hear that you're tired. Hey, I'm tired also, believe it or not. We didn't get to bed till 1 in the morning. We've been going to bed later and later for some reason, not sure why. By the way, I finished something. Well, temporarily finished it. I can't finish it until I get the last color. It's missing. Oh, Murgles. Please don't. I know this is funny, but talking to the drills to stop falling. We'll put this somewhere else. Much better. So we're going to do some crochet. But I thought you would like to see the one thing I did work on. I finished it off except for one color. Just so you can see. There's only one color left, and it's this color right here, which is the Y's. I can't finish it, but everything else is finished. It's done, except for that color right there. So what will I do on Friday? I don't know. I have to make a decision if I want to do silicone, or if I want to do resin, or if I want to do what. So today we are going to crochet. If I can get my crochet to agree with me. Okay. As you can tell, I have done 3 offline. I think I need to bring it up a little bit so you guys can see it. 3 offline. When I was over at my temporary work. And I always work at the what is it called? Oh, Marble. No, you don't. Yes, it's better. No! Like I said, I'm on only 7 hours of sleep. So you have to forgive me for being drop C's today and all types of things. I don't think I'm going to mess up on my crochet, but drop C's and but that one diamond painting I have pretty much gotten done except for one color. One color is missing. Dear heart, can you turn on the light?
Sure, it'll make a lot of difference. The sunlight coming through this morning. The fog is diffusing it.
The sunlight, whatever. Morning. Yeah, that don't work. So that's what happened. Is that and on my channel now, I have it set up where people know that I am. This is my channel where I just talk at the moment. We are in a limited space. We're not in our own home. So that's why. I think I talked to you about it. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing really well. What did I just do? Down, over, pull, through. No, something's off. Down, twist, then over, then pull through. Ah! Now we started it. So, yeah, it's been an interesting morning. The chickens are doing well. One of the eggs is deformed. For real. I'm not kidding. So, anyway, like I said on the 28th, the 28th, we will not be live at all. We'll be in Brisbane at the time. Sorry about that. I'm normally here 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but you know what I mean. I'm usually here. Sometimes I'm on at 8:30. Sometimes I'm on at 9, depending on how rough my night or how rough my day has been or how rough my week has been. I try to be very considerate to my people on, my videos. So this Friday, I am not going to be doing diamond painting. I have to wait for something to come in the mail because they didn't give me enough color to finish that diamond painting. And the good news is once that diamond painting is done. Oh, Murgles, what did I just do? Oh, okay. I forgot to do that. It's been an interesting morning. Jeff and I kind of didn't even want to get up. That's how interesting it is. But we remembered we had chickens and we have to deal with the chickens and And we ended up getting up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to do 6 of these. So 6 of them is what I'm doing. So I'm going to do 6. Did I do the new 2? No, I didn't. I need to count 2 out. Oh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 5. 1, 2. And as you can tell, my diamond painting's over and done with, except for one color, which is diamond dot color. Can't use the regular color. It's a flamingo color. And I can't do it yet because it's not here. So we're going to probably do clay on Friday. I think I'll go with clay. I'm up to doing clay again. I just needed that breather. You don't want to get what's called not artist's block, but you know what I mean. Oh, Merkles, why aren't you working? It's not writer's block. What is it called? Where you become artistic, but you're like, you get so tired of doing the same thing over and over again. So you take a breather from it just for a little bit, and then you go back to it. And that's pretty much what I did. So, let me double check. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. I guess it's in a slump. It's more of, I just don't want to do my artwork sometimes. So I go to something else to help me get out of the, I guess it's a slump. Never thought of it as a slump, but could be a slump.
A slump is a kind of ice confectionery that you add things to, like raspberries.
Huh.
I'll prove it to you.
A slump is a contraption for
Here it
what?
is. Look, see? Berry slump recipe.
Okay.
By the Good Food Team. Ingredients. It's got butter, caster sugar, self-raising flour, 2 eggs, milk, vanilla extract, then mixed summer berries and some flaked almonds. And there's like a method in everything.
Okay.
Trust me, you've never been in a slump.
Okay, so then maybe it's not a slump.
Maybe like a food fight later. Oh, look, there's something here called Marry Me Chicken. That's so funny. It's on the screen, look. I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
It looks like some kind of, it's got a really yellow sauce to it. I'll find out.
Marry me chicken. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's there.
My husband's looking online and mentioning about marrying me chicken.
Why is Marry Me Chicken a family meal? Perverts. Shouldn't it be a couple's meal?
It's
Plain flour, chicken breast, sun-dried tomatoes. Well, that's out in your case, isn't it?
I can still
You
eat
can eat it, but
tomato.
I don't
I
know
can
if
eat tomato.
sun-dried
I
is
just
your
don't.
thing.
Like I said, I can eat tomato.
Yeah, well, it's also got onion, garlic, and chili flakes.
No, that's out. That's out.
Oregano sprigs, double cream, which I have no idea where to find. Chicken stock, parmesan, basil leaves, lemon wedge. If I'd served you marry me chicken, I don't think you would have married me. Let's put it that way.
What?
If I had ever served you marry me chicken before we got married, you might not have married me. This is let's stay engaged chicken or something for at least the time being. It's like, marry me, honey, if you get rid of this chicken recipe. Although, if you like spice, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I don't like spice. Oh dear, that's hilarious.
Why wouldn't you cook the chicken through? What's going on? Oh, that's why. We're frying it and then boiling it.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh dear. Jeff was trying to tell me that there's a food called slump.
She's saying she's been in a slump, and I went, that must have been painful.
There's it's
like 45 minutes in the oven. Ow.
Okay, we are not going there.
I mean, in a food processor, just to start with, whiz together the butter, sugar, flour.
Okay, honey, I get the point. Thank you very much.
Is this like your thing or mine? This is the Jeff comedy show at the moment. You can do yours later. What?
Got an appointment to see one of the nurses finish off what they did 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, have fun.
Okay, well,
I apologize. It's the obscure sayings of people as they go out. This is the show.
This is the show. Get used to it. Get used to it because it's going to happen. Until we get our own place, this is going to happen.
I reckon people would watch the Jeff comedy show.
Oh, I believe they would. Yes, I believe they would, honey. I believe they definitely would.
Say I've got a good face for radio.
He does actually have a good face for radio.
It's a subtle insult to the person making the observation. To say you've got a good face for radio is to say that it doesn't matter what you look like because people can't see you anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to change the color so you guys can see what I'm doing. That should help. Yeah, that should help. Well, anyway, back to what we were doing. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Like I said, we haven't been sleeping very well lately. And both Jeff and I are getting frustrated. By the way, no promises. But Jeff might, and I'm not saying he definitely does, but he might have a job. It's an hour away from here, but he might have a job. But it's a good job. It's a job at a bank. It's not anymore working at a warehouse. Nope, nothing there yet. But yeah, he might have a job. I'm not saying he definitely does. But it'll be nice when he actually gets a job because that will help him feel better. Although he's an author also, so that is still a job, believe it or not, being an author of books, him writing books and everything. Still a job. So we'll see. We'll see what all happens. Good morning to whoever joined. I hope your day is going great. I am doing, basically, I crochet and talk at the same time. I'm not doing it. I did mention in a disclaimer what's going on. I talk pretty much about life, and I talk about my chickens, and I talk about other things, and I'm doing my crochet at the same time. I've made 83 snowflakes. I'm making a big dent in it. I need to make more. So, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Rifka's Crack Corner. I hope you're doing very well. I'm doing well. I did do diamond painting last week. I was short on one color. I go and send them, hey, I'm out of this color. They go and say, this color is not on that diamond painting. I'm like, yes, it is. So I ended up taking a picture of said diamond painting and the color I needed because they didn't believe me when I told them that I needed it. And I said, it's flamingo. And they said, well, when I sent them the picture, they said, my bad. That's what they said. They actually said, my bad. And I'm like, okay. That was quite interesting. I showed it to Jeff. He even thought it was interesting. Someone would say, my bad. Right, dear?
Which thing was this? I was out of the room for a minute.
Diamond Dot.
Oh.
When I read it to you, it said, my bad.
Yeah, they made a mistake.
They said they made a mistake and they apologized, which is good. And I'll be getting the color I need. So the gorgeous diamond painting is done except for one color, which is good because I really need to finish that diamond painting. Next week I might work on a latch hook one. No, not latch hook. Not latch hook. That's on Fridays. Sorry about that. I'm thinking whatever. Not making sense. Okay, we're on the second row. Now we're going on the third row. I'm also what is it called? I'm also a sampler. I need to send her my sample. I hope she loves how I did the sample. We'll find out. But I did the sample. It's for a preemie, actually. But Jeff thinks I should make it bigger. So might end up making it bigger. And I can't show you the sample per se here. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But it's been a beautiful morning. little cold. We had fog today. We had fog. I went to check on the girls and they're okay, but it's foggy out there. Yep. It was a heavy condensation because on the cover itself of the chicken coop, it had heavy fog, a heavy condensation. And we go for 3 here. We're hoping when we're in our own home, I can finally do some instructions and doing unboxings and all types of things like that. Wouldn't that be cool? I like that I put the disclaimer in now when it comes to the crochet, that it's just for entertainment purposes. I talk about my life. I talk about my husband's life. I talk about, well, my husband was talking about slumps and telling me that you're not really in a slump because it's actually I never knew that there was another word for slump. Slump means basically, okay, you know how people have writer's block? Sometimes you have artist block. That's the only thing I can think of. You have artist block. Does that make sense? So that's what I mean by slump. I just couldn't get myself to work on things. Too much is going on in the house, so I can't really do that. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. We are going to show you. Actually, I showed what I was doing on Instagram, and I said, "This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. What am I making this into?" Now, if you come to my live, you find out I'm making a blanket, a queen size blanket. I also am going to do crochet as you go, if that makes sense. Meaning I will be putting a border around the border that I did and start crocheting them all together instead of just, but I needed to crochet the snowflakes first. They're not technically snowflakes yet until you do the border or the hexagon around it. Once you do the hexagon around it, then it is a snowflake. Because right now, a finished one looks like this. That is not technically a snowflake until you have that extra little bit done. So I'm doing the first part of the snowflake. So but if I did do instruction, I think I'm going to do, if I do white, I'm going to use this right here so you can see the yarn on it. So, yeah. And some people like hearing what's going on in life. Yes, I will. In my new home, I will be doing what you call, oh, Margles, what is it called? The Cricut. I have a Cricut machine, so I will be doing the Cricut machine. I might fit that in a different. Cricut would be probably in a Oh, Murgles, what day should I put that on? It's a lot of cutting and stuff. Well, it's sticky, so maybe do it on my wet day. Oh, what am I doing? I lost track of what I was doing. That's what happens when you're talking and you're not paying attention and everything. There we go. That's looking good. 1, 2, 3. It only has like 4 steps to do this in, and then after that, it's 2 steps with a different color. So it's fun. I love making this. Love making snowflakes, but it is pretty much the same thing I've been doing for a while. And then we go down to the last one right here where we put a little single crochet. Maybe. Are you talking about when I'm in my own home? Yeah, maybe it can. It's not a bad idea. The Cricut. Yeah, I could probably replace the diamond painting. But right now, there's just not that much room in my father-in-law's house. We've been living here for almost 3 years. I just want to get out of here. We will be leaving to go camping for Sukkot, but it's not the same. So we're now on the last one, which is the fourth row. I always do the 4th row in a unique way, and it's a easy one to do. When I originally started this this crochet project, I didn't think this pattern was that easy, to be honest. I thought it was pretty hard, to be honest. I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? I've never done the snowflake before. Oh, switch it up. Yeah, I agree. I need to switch things up. Sometimes I should change it up instead of having Fridays my resin day, which I need to get more resin later on because this is going to take a lot of resin when I'm done with something. I do actually plan on doing something that's very interesting. I have quite a few diamond paintings that are done. And I'm thinking maybe taking those diamond paintings and making them either into clocks or making them into small tables. Or make them into, I don't know. They'll come to me later on. But yeah, I like the idea of switching it up. That's what I thought. Okay, well, since I got kind of, what is it called? An artist block? Did I have an artist block, guys? Would you call it that? Because I think that's what I had was artist block. I know it sounds strange to actually have an artist block. People love doing their artwork, but oh. Is it artist block I'm thinking of? I can't think of the word I'm thinking of right now. But it's where you kind of get tired of doing the same thing. So you switch it up and you go, well, we're going to do something different this time, guys. Is that what it's called? Artist block? Now, I am going to work on a beautiful, I do want to work on another manticore, but not right now. I'm still working on a displacer beast. That's one I'm going to be working on. Or I could work on a different new one. You know what's funny? I came upon something saying on Instagram, in Instagram or Facebook, and it's like, if I can remember what it said, it was hilarious when you think about it. But Myrtles, what am I saying today? I'm not making sense today, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to think what it said. It was so funny, though. It kind of fit me, too. It's like, well, one was, buying yarn or buying something, and it's the rules of being a crocheter or something, where you buy yarn, you buy hooks, you buy more yarn, not even use it, then you buy yarn again, and you have to have like 5 whips, and 5 whips is works in progress, and you have to have this. But it's the same way with diamond painting. You have to have some work in progress and kind of forget about it and then go back to it later on. And then there's someone who's an artist in clay. You have to have many works in progress. You know what I mean? It was that type of setup. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I do that quite a bit on the work of progress. Like, I have a displacer beast I want to work on, but I'm like looking at it and I'm like, it'll turn out as a displacer beast. It will. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, do I really want to work on that right now? Not really. Or I'll go and look at the diamond painting. Do I really want to work on that now? Not really. So what can I do different? And I try and switch it up. That's pretty much what you mentioned, Dottie. I just have to switch it up to keep my artistic flow going. Does that make sense? So I would do it. Maybe doing a mimic might be a good idea. What do you think? I think a mimic would be a good idea. Maybe doing a mimic if I have what you call artist block. I think there is such a thing called artist block, where you're an artist, but you're blocked in something, so you have to switch to something different. I think that's what it's called. And I think that's what's been going on with me, is like, I have to switch it up. I have to switch it up, or else I'm not going to feel accomplished. Now I have something I'm working on. I'm doing a sampler. I think I have to finish it up by the 17th. I'll have it done, because I only have 6, 7, 8, 9 more squares to do, and then I have to do a But yeah. I'm on the fourth square. Well, not fourth square. Oh, Murgles. I can't even speak right now. I'm on the fourth arm. I actually call these arms because when you actually put the bordering around it, it'll come out as arms. It'll look really beautiful, like the picture. 1, 2, 3. And yeah, I am an artist. I love working with resin. I love working with clay. I'm not a coloring person. But when it comes to my resin, I fall in love with what I do. But then I misplace my resin pieces, which is kind of sad. It happens when you're over in someone else's home and not your own. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I'm trying to think back. What all do I have to do? I have 3 things I'm making that I finished, but I have to slap them together. Well, not slap them, but you know what I mean. Put them together. I have pink, which I have a pink rose, which I gotta find. And then I have to make decisions on what I want to do with something else. Like, okay, here's an idea that came to my mind. I have these gorgeous things right here. These gorgeous things. See this right here? I'm thinking of putting something right here and having it as a something that will fit into a like, I don't know. I know what I'm thinking of. I just can't think of the word right now. But it'll come to me. Anyways, no, doorknob. Like a doorknob, like a drawer. Oh, Murgles. Drawer knob. DRAWER knob. Does that make sense what I'm saying? A drawer, like if you have dresser drawers, that type of knobbing. A drawer knob. That's what I'm thinking of with those things. I thought that would make a really pretty drawer knob. Like I could make like several of those. Well, I could make it into a cover minder. I could do that. Or a needle minder. I could do that too. But yeah, between that or making a drawer knob, yeah, special ones. Like making, okay, you know how everyone has like their dresser drawers. But you look at dresser drawers and you're like, I don't like this knob, or I love this knob, but I don't want this knob on. I want something unique on it or something like that. You know what I mean? And taking the drawer knob and doing like a resin look. Like, let's say you want it like a variegated. Stumps me every time. Yeah. A drawer knob or whatever it's called. Anyways, it would look really pretty, but it would be uniquely yours, if that makes sense. Like, I'll give you an example once I'm done with this one snowflake. Yeah, I have one snowflake I'm working on right here. I'm very happy that I'm going lickety split, believe it or not. It may seem like I'm not going lickety split, but I am actually going lickety split. Where did that word come from, anyways? Where did that word come from? Word lickety split. Okay. Jeff might be in the mood to write his book after my live today.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing so well on it. He's close to the end of this book. And then the next part of the book comes together. There are how many different changes in that book?
Changes.
What I mean is, you think it's going to be one way and it ends up being a different thing?
Oh yeah, well I had a little thing I was going to do with one of the minor characters, going to have her make an attempt on the life of one of the more mainstream characters, but then I went, you know what, let's solve this differently.
Yep. Huh.
With a solution that's only possible in a D&D universe.
Yeah. I don't
Yay,
know where
magic.
I put 'em. I don't know where I put them. They're here somewhere.
As I've said before, if it could be proved that magic didn't come from some really nasty sources, I'd be open to learning it. But it's been proved, and you don't touch it.
Yep. I had, like, here's an example of some of my resin work. Look at this froggy. I have this frog is actually what you call a gold leaf frog. I made it out of gold leaf. I wish I had done better on it, but that's an example of some of my resin work. Just one of them. But I have a lot of these laying around. Don't know where I put them right now, but they're everywhere. Oh. Well, this one's not done, but this is just to give you an example. This one has like some hearts on it. I have a lot of these. I have like at least 20, 30 of them. But like I said, I kind of want to make it like a unique thing, like go like one's pink, one's blue, maybe do like a rainbow look to it. Or something like that. I have a lot going on in my mind. Sometimes I want to look at some things I've made before and I'm like, what can I do better with them? Like this one right here is my puffy heart one. It doesn't have holes in them, but there are some that has holes in them and I'm like, what can I do to make it better? You know what I mean? Like here's a puffy heart I made. These don't have holes, but this is just to give you an example of the puffy hearts. And I kind of want to do like a white in the back or a black in the back to finish it off. But we'll talk about that later. We are going back to crocheting. But yeah, I have a whole lot on my mind of what I want to do, but how do I do it? How do I make it very interesting? Do I sell them in sets? Do I not sell them in sets? You know what I mean? But we'll see. When the time comes, we'll see. But yeah, I do love working with resin. Resin is one of my fortes. I fell in love with working with resin. I have a few of those amazing things that I made. But And the thing is, I also am going to be making some D&D dice. I have a few D&D dice I need to sell on my website. And yeah, I am procrastinating, guys. Have you ever worked where you're like, ugh, I know I have to take pictures. I know I have to do this. I know I have to do that. But you procrastinate. You're like, ugh, I know I have to do this, but I don't want to do it. Does that make sense? Or you take a breather and you're stuck and you're not sure how you want to do things. Like I do artwork. Here's another artwork I do. I do clay work. I don't have my other clay with me, but this little guy right here needs to be cooked in the oven. But once he's cooked in the oven, I need to paint him all the same color. But here's an example of something I made with clay, and I have to refix some things on him. It's like that, guys. And with me, it's I pay attention to what I'm doing, but sometimes they don't come out the way you want them to turn out, if that makes sense. Or when you're working with resin, you're thinking, oh, it's going to turn out gorgeous. It's going to turn out gorgeous. And then you look at it and you're like, what did I do? This does not turn out like I thought it was going to turn out. Does that make sense? Like, here's an example. You see this thing right here? It opens and closes. Believe it or not, it's two bottoms put together. I still need to put something on it to really jazz it up. That's the word, jazz. Jazz it up. I need to do something. Another thing I thought about doing is, what is that one that I suggested Jeff do something like this. He loves making things too with his hands, but it's always wood. I'm talking about like he loves working with wood, as in making tables and stuff like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my last one. Yay! And 6. Sorry if I go off, not off a tangent, but go off topic, I guess is the word I'm trying to find. I do resin, I do clay, I do crochet, I do a lot of different things. I really want to finish making this one thing that I made. It's for washi tape, or you could even put your you could actually, I think you could actually put your sewing thread on it. I think that's another thing you could do. You could put your sewing thread on it if you're a sewer, a hand sewer, or even just a sewer. Another thing I do is I actually hand sew, and I'm planning on hand sewing a gorgeous robe. Yeah, there we go. So we're now on the second row. But yeah, these are things that's, and I need to start taking pictures and putting them on Facebook and putting them on Instagram so you guys can see what I'm doing. Those are things I'm working on. But I'm so excited that car is almost done. I would have already had that car done, but It's not done right now. And the car is for someone in the family. I'm going to be putting resin over that car and making it into a table. Well, not a table, but it's called a lap table. That's my plan for that car. I'm talking about a diamond painting car. And Jeff is going to help me make like a little... I know what I'm thinking of, but I can't think what it's called right now. But he's an artist when it comes to his woodworking. He loves working with wood. He has a lathe, he has a CNC machine, but we can't use them here at my father-in-law's. We are stuck at the moment. Day in and day out here. I hate saying it that way, but we are stuck at the moment until we get our own home. And so much is going on in the background. We don't talk much about what's going on in the background, but so much is going on in the background that both Jeff and my head are spinning. If that makes sense. Like it's like time gets away from us. We were originally supposed to stay here for about a year and have our own house and everything on our own land. Didn't work that way. Oh, we'll get a house on our land. We'll be on our land soon enough, but it's interesting when you think about it. Someone telling us, oh, it's only going to be about 3 months. You're going to be here and then you're off. No. It's been almost 3 years. Jeff and I are not happy about that, by the way. And my husband is eating Mighty Grains. Yay! I know Mighty Grains sound when someone chews on it. I'm like, oh, he's eating Mighty Grains.
Is it carrying over? I can go downstairs.
Oh, it's not carrying over on the thing. I just can hear it. I know Mighty Grains, son, because I was planning on eating Mighty Grains this morning.
There's still a heap left. It's just that I was hungry enough that I didn't want to wait for anything.
That's fine. And I'm not complaining. And I'm not really complaining about life itself, but it's like, it's sometimes rough when you're living with your father-in-law. Sometimes rough. Yay! We're on our last boat on this one. Murgles. I'm not even saying anything right. Same old, same old. So we're on the second round. So we just did first round. This is second round. Second round doesn't take long. Actually, it doesn't take long at all when you get into it. Yeah, okay. I do what you call a hidden stitch. I'll actually go and do a hiding stitch. Hidden. Yay, it's hiding. And then we go to the third round. Woohoo! The girls are doing well. I'm talking about my chickens. One of the eggs was off this morning. Not bad. It's just when she laid her egg, it came off. What's the word I want to say? Wonky. That's pretty much.
What you want to say?
That's pretty much what it looked like. It was like, it was roundy. It was round all the way around, but then it went kind of wonky on the end. Has like a white spot on it. Mm-hmm. One, 2, and 3. And then do 1 down here. We're done. Then 1, 2, and 3. Then we go and do this again. Not sure why YouTube decided to start showing me who comes on now. I haven't even have it set up where it, shows me. But it's really strange. So you're doing 3 stitches and then going and doing the double crochet cluster. I'm just basically snowflaking around. I'm actually just doing a snowflake for a bedspread, but I need to do all these snowflakes, get them out of.
That should be a new catchphrase, dear.
What? Snowflaking around?
Around here.
Snowflaking. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Why did I say snowflaking around? I don't know, but I said snowflaking around and it. There. That actually came out easy. That actually came out easy. I think. Yeah, on its own. Now I'm kind of lost. What did I say beforehand? Have you ever, like, you were talking and, oh, yeah, you're talking about, yeah, I keep getting these little notices, but I don't have it set up. Yeah, they've been doing that for a while since I've been going on Google. Google has it set up where it just shows up. So while I'm doing my live, it's showing up. Oh, it's Google. Now, I have a certain way I do this. I'll actually I'll tie it right like this. I'll hold it right in there. And then I'll hold this right here. Now you go under and in through this little hole. Hold it there. Lost it. I have a certain way. I learned this. I learned this on and it actually saves you time. So you want to have one over and one over there. So you want to have this in there. Hold that in place. And this in there. I don't technically have sausage fingers. My fingers are pretty thin. Huh. Go on. Thank you. And then all you do is you tighten it like this. And once you tighten it, it's tight. It doesn't come apart. It's perfect. Does that make sense? I learned this skill, believe it or not, on Instagram. Another thing I learned on Instagram. And you cut it there. And you keep going. You're still in your thing. But you keep going. And you want this part to go in the back so it's not showing up. So this is what I'll do. I'll show you what I'm doing. Then you do 10, you do 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oops. I messed up there. Okay. I got it now. For a second, I was like, wait a minute. Something doesn't look right here. Okay, so we do 3 here. And this is where it gets interesting. You want it to go in to that little section there. But you want this section right here to be in the back. You don't want it in the front. 1, 2, 3. Either you hide it or it's, yeah. So it's right there. Then you do 3 right here. So I got the 3 right there. But yeah, that is kind of strange, but it did happen. And it's like, you go here. Get out of the way so you're not showing up in my artwork. I want to keep it as close to the back as possible. That's something I've learned to do. So it's not showing up in my work. 1, 2, and 3. And you just keep going. That's something I learned in Instagram where you have the same yarn, but you just don't want to, cut it off and all that. So you go do what I did right there and it's done. Hopefully I'm feeling better tomorrow to go to scripture study when we have scripture study, but we'll see. Depends on how I feel. My nose has been runny like crazy. Like crazy. Still cold. We were watching it. Jeff and I was watching something about Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Australia houses. It's 9 degrees Celsius. What are you going to do about it?
Yep.
And the house is like, I have no insulation. Which is not a lie. Seems like Australian houses have no insulation.
This is why Australians play sports.
Do you think that's why?
It's one of the reasons. The only way to get warm is to go run around outside.
So
I'm
Australian.
I'm only partly kidding.
When
When I was young, if I complained to my mother saying I was cold, she would say, well, go run around outside. That'll warm you up. Okay, Mum.
While in America, we have insulation. We've always had insulation in our houses.
You'll go outside and get in a car and drive to Florida.
Actually, no. When I was living in Oregon, I didn't drive to Florida.
No, well, you should have.
Yep.
It's the American solution to everything. Go drive somewhere else for a while.
We did, but we went to California, which was a little more warmer.
The American listeners are sitting there going, nailed it.
Oh dear. That's funny. Yeah, my husband's not lying there. Oh, Murgles. Yeah, but yeah, we came upon this one little meme. It wasn't really a meme, it was more of a saying. And this person's like, it's 9 degrees here. It must have been evening because, and the house is like, yeah, so I'm not insulated. And I'm like, how true is that?
I've got a heater in one room.
I got a heater only in one room. What about the rest of the house?
That sketch is behind the times. I checked, remember?
Yeah.
It became officially Australian standard to make sure your house is insulated. Way back in 2022, thank you very much.
2022, exactly.
Before that, you could build a house without insulation and nobody cared.
Hello, Andrea. How are you doing? So yeah, it's just insulation in Australia. No. I'm in a house that is not insulated. There's a big gap down on the floor. Like I said, this is not my house.
Children born after 2022, Australia will start going down at the Olympics in the 2040s. They'll be raised in air conditioning. They'll be soft. They won't go and run around outside like their parents did.
And you can definitely hear my husband's Australian accent. Yep. But yeah, I did put a disclaimer in my YouTube to let you guys know that my YouTube is just basically entertainment, and I talk about things that's going on in Australia, and I can talk about the chips, I can talk about the stuff that is here. Like, do I see kangaroos?
You did when we lived in Ipswich.
I did when I lived in Ipswich, but here, not really. I see more of jackrabbits.
The thing is, like, Ipswich is close enough to the countryside, and we were in a fairly new housing development at the time.
Yeah, we were
out here.
Here you only see.
No, well, the farmers chased them off their land years ago.
Yeah,
it's like, you're not going to eat the grass that belongs to my sheep. Forget it.
True.
So there's more hunters out here.
Yeah. Welcome to Rivka's Craft Corner, those who are coming in. basically, I'm crocheting a gorgeous snowflake. It's not 100% done. Even when I finish this one off, it's still not done because I have to put a border around it, aka the hexagon border. Once I do the hexagon border, then I need to crochet them all together. That's gonna be fun. But I've come upon something that I can probably crochet everything together in a pretty decent amount of timing. I think. Yeah, I think. On my Mondays, I game. I'm a gamer. I do play games. Mostly Paleo Pines. Although I have played Shop Titans on here. And then on Wednesdays is my crochet. I don't know how to cross stitch yet. I wish someone would teach me how. And my latch hook. Not sure. What else is there that's yarn related? I don't really technically knit. I mean, I do know how to do the basics, if that makes sense, but I don't knit. And my Fridays is usually clay, resin, silicone, or diamond painting. My nose is itchy. So you can get about 5 snowflakes out of this. Believe it or not, out of one thing, I think it's 5 snowflakes to 6 snowflakes out of one skein of yarn. But I haven't tested to see if it's actually 5 snowflakes or not. But yeah. I did marry an Australian. He's amazing. He's loving. He's kind. We don't have any animals per se except for our chickens. We own some chickens. They're called chooks here in Australia. You call them CHOOKS, not chickens, chooks. There are some differences between Australia and America. One of the big differences is the light switch. There's a light switch for turning off the power. You go to the stove, turn on the stove at the light switch. Then you go and turn the stove on at the stove. So it takes two rounds, I guess is what the word is. I'm not sure if you can say it correctly of rounds, but it takes two rounds. So there's the stove and the switch. And afterwards, when you're done using the stove, you turn off the stove at the stove, and then you turn it off at the switch. That is one difference between America and Australia. We don't, in America, have a switch to turn it off at. I thought it was brilliant, but sometimes I forget because I'm so used, because I used to live in America. So Sometimes I do forget to turn it off at the switch. Another thing is at the toilets here in Australia, you have 2 push button things. One for number 1 and one for number 2. Never knew that either, because I was living in America. When I was living in America, we didn't have that type of thing. Now I know there's some people that have that type of thing. I think Audie, you mentioned about your mom does, but normally, like in an American household, normally you have just one button to push, or you have a handle push. The food is different here. Instead of calling it Burger King in America, we call it Hungry Jack's. I am very disappointed with Hungry Jack's. I used to eat what you call the Big Whopper. The Big Whopper. Big Whopper was humongous when I was a kid. I remember it. It was big enough to. It was a big
Burger.
It was a big burger. Oh, I almost forgot what I was doing. It was very big. Yeah, I was telling you about the toilet. I was telling everyone about the toilet because the toilet has only one. Normally, it has like one handle.
Mm-hmm.
But in Australia, it's just 2 little buttons you push. But back to what I was saying about the
Well, we understand the value of water here.
Oh yeah, you do. It's a very brilliant mechanism that they done. Very brilliant.
This is the thing. People say, look at Australia, look at all that space, and they don't realize that 70% of it is desert.
Yeah.
There's only one successful indication of a place where they live in a desert, and that's called Vegas.
Yeah.
It doesn't survive because of the food supply.
No, it supplies. Believe it or not, the one in Vegas. Vegas survives because of they have pokies. Oh, they don't call them pokies over in America, but they call them here pokies.
Vegas supplies, quote, entertainment, unquote.
Yep. Yep.
And if you're lucky, you leave with nothing. If you're unlucky, you pick up something to take away with you and share with others. Let's just leave it G-rated, shall we?
Yeah, definitely. Let's leave it at G-rated. Oh, dear. Yeah, over here in Australia, they actually conserve their water. I remember that day when we were living in Killarney, and we had to literally conserve water, even when we were conserving water. If that makes sense. You couldn't really water your garden.
No, once per week.
You could only water your garden once per week. That's it. Once per week.
And you couldn't do it using a sprinkler.
Nope.
You had to go outside with either a watering can or a garden hose and stand there. Turn the sprinklers on, they would have fined you.
Yep. Things have, we were a little surprised by that because we wanted to start growing. Well, we didn't really want to start growing a garden at that time. But we had what you call aloe vera plants over in Kalani. That was fun. We had aloe vera plants. That's all we had in the garden over there. I still have aloe vera plants, believe it or not. Aloe vera is beautiful for when you have burns. Excellent stuff for burns. I remember growing up, my grandmother taught me about Margles. What was the name of that plant? I can't think of it right now. It's something that you can take, you can eat. You can't eat a whole lot of it, but you can eat a little bit of it. And it keeps you, I won't say keeps you regular, but it keeps you healthier. I think my grandmother had more wisdom in her than some people in today's society. Trying to visualize what those it's a certain type of plant, and I cannot think of that plant's name right now. It'll be so funny when I do think of it. I'll be saying, I remember the name of the plant. But right now, I can't remember. Can't remember the name of the plant for the love of me. Well, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea for a live, doing a pour 2, 3, 4, 5. A pour. I actually was thinking of, those beautiful snowflakes I made that I can't use. Why not put them in resin and make it into like coasters, maybe? Let me know your thoughts. Do you like that idea? Some of them that I already made, make them into like coasters. One, two. It's just ideas that's coming through my brain. So yeah, what are the leaves I'm talking about, honey? There's leaves I was telling you that we used to eat as a child, that helped me, but they now say that they're harmful for you.
I don't know what they are.
They're a leaf that they have like a strange texture to them on your tongue.
Are they nettles?
No.
Hmm.
No. Not nettles.
People do eat nettles.
Oh, I know. It's not nettles. It's something else, but I can't think of it. It's going to drive me nuts now. Okay. So we're on the second row. This is the second row right here. Pretty easy. I can't wait to make borders of this. Borders around. It's not nettles. It's a certain type of leaf. Has a different texture to your tongue. Trying to visualize. I can't explain the taste. I can just tell you that it has a weird texture to your tongue.
Bitter, stringent.
No,
Savory?
It wasn't bitter.
Peppery.
No. It's not peppery. Definitely not peppery.
I'm disappointed. I don't want any then.
Gee, thank you, dear. I love you too.
Anytime, dear.
No, I said these were something I wanted to grow in our garden.
Oh, I don't remember.
But I gotta think what they're called. It's an herb, like almost like an herb.
Sorrel,
No,
thistle.
no,
You sure?
yes,
Well, I'm done then.
burdock leaves. No, not burdock. I can't think of them.
Chickweed.
What?
Chick.
No.
You're making it difficult for me.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's called burdock. We called it a certain thing, but it's not burdock. I can see the plant. I just can't think of the name. But it's one my grandmother used to grow. And she said this is good for, number one, for your system, and two, it helps you. I don't think she ever made it into teas, though. But I can't think of it right now. And I don't know the taste. I can't remember the taste. I haven't had it for ages. I remember the texture was very unique. It was like a bumpy texture when you put it in your mouth. Very bumpy, very I wouldn't say harsh, but almost harsh. Know what I'm thinking of. I just can't think of the name of the. Now, you know what will happen? Right after my live, I'll be like, okay, I got to find out what that plant was.
Oh, well.
It's one of those type of things. I'll be like, what in the heck was that plant's name? And then I'll be like, okay, I have to find it.
It'd be some obscure thing like woody sorrel or whatever.
No, it's not sorrel.
Okay.
It grows in America. I don't think they grow it in Australia. They are kind of against it. They call it a weed here. Even if it is beneficial. Don't they call dandelion a weed?
They do.
Even though it's beneficial?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's not dandelion, by the way. But yeah. It's a plant that has bumpy leaves. I can't explain it more than that. Bumpy, I can't think of it. I'm sure someone would know what it is, but I cannot think of it at all. Okay, come on. Come on. Get on my hook. Come on. Get on my hook. Hook. Did I finally get it? Yep, I got it. So I'm right now doing a hidden stitch. I love this hidden stitch because it kind of makes it come out nice and almost professional, if that makes sense. 1, 2. Wrap it. And then we'll go here. And here. Now we're on the third row, which is basically double crochet cluster, 3 stitches, double crochet cluster, 3 stitches, 1 crochet, not double crochet, but 1 single crochet. Yep, that's pretty much it. There you go. That's a double crochet cluster. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the leaf. It's very good for you, actually. But they call it a Sometimes they call it a weed. Well, they would call it here a weed.
Shepherd's purse?
What's a shepherd's purse?
That's not it then.
I've never even heard of a shepherd's purse.
You keep forgetting every time I tell you about it. It's got little heart-shaped seed pods.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not a shepherd's purse. I can just visualize the leaves. They kind of have like a scratchy taste to them. Very interesting taste. Just can't think of it. But they're good for you. They're healthy. They can heal you. So, yeah. Just can't think of the name of that plant for the love of me. I'm trying to think, and my brain is not thinking. Okay. People who are over the internet. Boy, do I make any sense when I say that. But I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. Don't go to bed late. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this is for me. Don't go to bed late. I went to bed at 1 a.m. So I'm a little, what's the word I want to say? Not awake. Even drinking coffee doesn't help. One time, and Jeff can tell you this, and I'll tell you it anyways. One time I was sleep deprived, meaning I didn't sleep at all for 3 days, I think, hon. Wasn't it?
Maybe that long, yeah.
I was 3 days not sleeping. And when I don't have sleep for 3 days, I go into almost like a drunken mode. No, I'm not drunk, but I go into a drunken mode. Right, dear?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, I go into a drunken mode. Even though I'm not drunk, I'm sleep deprived. But I do the same thing. I'm laughing, giggly, all that. Well, one time I was in that type of mode where I was sleep deprived. And I was...
Oh, please tell me you're going to tell that story.
I was...
G rating. This is a PG show at the very most.
Anyways, long story short, I fell asleep. And yeah, when I don't get sleep, I act almost like a drunk. It's very weird. I'm talking about if you don't get sleep for 3 days and 3 nights, you get very weird. Oh, I love that man of mine. Things in Australia versus America. One thing I'm going to tell you, Jif, Jiff, our brand of peanut butter is actually a cleanser here in Australia.
JIF here. We don't use with the one extra F.
Oh, it doesn't have... I don't know why I said 2 Fs, but it's actually 1 F. So it's JIF over in America. Is JIF over here a bathroom cleanser? Very fun. How I found that out is I was like, my husband was lightly rubbing my back. At the time, we were not married. We were engaged. And he was rubbing my shoulder and my back. And he goes, "What would you like for breakfast?" And I just came into Australia at the time. I think I was only here for about a week. And he goes, "What would you like for breakfast?" And I'm like, I would like some Jif, please. Oh, no, I would like some toast, please. And Jeff's like, "Okay. What would you like on your toast?" "I would like some Jif, please." Silence. 100% silence. If you say Jif to an Australian who knows it's, and I'm already give you what it is, you tell them you want Jif here, they give you a weird look. Like 100% weird look. And then afterwards, the silence gets to you and you're like, and he asks again. Oh yeah, he's seen it. He's seen it. He has definitely seen it. He has definitely seen what Jif is. But anyways, back then, he goes, "You want what?" "I would like Jif, please." I said it in a, in a, I thought, positive tone. "I would like Jif, please." And he went silent again. When you tell an Australian you want Jif, oh, his mom, yeah. And then he goes, "Well, we use that for washing our tubs." "You use peanut butter for washing your tubs?" And he goes, "No, we use bathroom cleanser." And then I was laughing so hard, and he was laughing, and we were laughing so hard. And then his mom comes in. His mom goes and says, "What's so funny? Guess what Amelia wants? Oh, guess what Riv wants for on her guess what Riv wants for her breakfast?" She goes, "What?" "She would like some Jif." "She wants what?" She went quiet after that. And she goes, "She wants what?" "She wants Jif." "Mom, can you go get the Jif and show her what Jif is?" I already knew, we already knew what was going on. So I was like frantically shaking my head. No, 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 no. Oh, I messed up here. That's what happens when you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So when that happened, his mom brought the Jif out. Kind of like as in someone who is doing a commercial. And she showed me it, and she's like, "You want this?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." But that's one of the interesting things about Australia and America. Another thing that happened when I first came from America to Australia, we were going across this crosswalk. Now, Audie can agree on this one because she knows how dangerous it is in America to try and go across the crosswalk. Even if the thing is going beep, beep, not beep, beep, but you know what I mean, like flashing, people will literally run to their destination. because of how fast the crosswalk sign flashes. So I remember I was like, when I first came to Australia, we were going across a crosswalk. And I started running because that's what we do in America most of the time. And he goes, "Why are you running? They'll run me over if I don't run." He goes, "No, they won't." I go, "Yes, they will." He goes, "No, they won't. Now, over in Sydney, they will, but not in the countryside." And I was like, okay. And what happened is a car stops right in front of, right in front and did not keep going. I was like, "Oh, they stopped for you here." And yeah, that was quite an interesting situation there. I remember that day because I was, being from America, if you go across a crosswalk, you need to get yourself over to the other side quickly. Either that or get run over. Never been run over by a car and never plan on ever getting run over by a car. They have different words, like different names for we have like the semi trucks. We call them semis. They call them trucks, just plain trucks. If you call the pickup trucks, we call the pickup trucks trucks. Over here, they call them utes, UTE, utility. They're utility vehicles, so they call them utes. So many differences here in Australia versus America. You go to a store, you ask for chips because that's what you call them over in America, chips. Our chips is those potato chips. Their chips is those hot chips. Hot chips is what we call French fries. Don't you love hearing about the differences between America and Australia? I would say Australia is more clean than America. Mostly. Although I was talking to Jeff about something when we drive in the car and we look down on the ground and people are throwing their bottles out. And what's interesting is over here, we finally have the bottle drive. Now, you remember in America, we have what you call a bottle drive that we had, many years now, where you bring in your bottles and you get money for it. Well, they finally got it here in Australia, and still people throw their bottles out on the grass here. And I'm like, why do they throw the bottles on the grass when you can actually earn money from them? I remember growing up, and I was in America, and I remember growing up, and I remember going with my sister. And we used to go pick up bottles just so we could get all that money. All that, you get money for your bottles. Over in Australia, I guess they're learning. But they still throw it out on the grass. It's quite interesting. Let's see, what else? You don't want to touch a kangaroo. Trust me on that. People are like, well, you can, you know how on TV they show a cat fighting a kangaroo, Sylvester's the cat. You remember that one? The Looney Tunes, I think. And they have a kangaroo on there making it look like a mouse, but kangaroos don't look like mice. They are marsupials, but they are not mice. I find it interesting because coming up upon a kangaroo, there was someone who was angry with the kangaroo because the kangaroo was trying to choke their dog, and they were trying to get the kangaroo's arm off of their dog. And long story short, they got it off their dog, but they were angry with that kangaroo, and they were going to box that kangaroo. What they don't know is kangaroos can actually choke people. My husband told me one time about a book. No, they're not mice. They're not rats. No. They're marsupials. And when they're protective, they will protect their young. Kangaroos. Another thing I found out about Australia is they do have big snakes. They actually do have big snakes. I've seen more of the spiders than I've seen the snakes. Okay, but I have seen them. We've actually seen a snake come into the house. I don't know how big it was because Jeff saw it, but it was a big snake. Not a big snake, but it was a what is it called? A not a redback. What are they called? Red belly snake.
Red belly blacks.
Yeah, red belly black snakes. I've seen it in person one time. I was like, Jeff, is this one of the dangerous snakes? He goes out, looks, yep, and then goes and kills it. Didn't I say that, honey? I was like, is this
there's
one
lots
of the...
more of them. It's fine.
Is
We don't need this particular one.
No.
If anyone asks, I relocated it.
Yeah, he relocated it into someone's field, so some other thing can go after. We had the most funniest thing happen a while back.
Relocated it to a better place.
Yeah.
It's gone where all good snakes go.
Then there was another time where it wasn't the snakes. We had a flood here in Australia. Well, not major flood, but we had a flooding. And we saw, we caught a mouse in a mouse trap, in a live mouse trap. So we're trying to be nice to save this mouse. We don't believe in actually killing them if we don't have to kill them, but we don't want them in the house. We don't want them around us, So we went and decided to relocate the mouse. We even put it right under a bush. It was like, nope, I don't want to be here. So it starts jumping up and down. Well, lo and behold, we look above us. Out comes a beautiful little magpie.
Mhm.
Now, Jeff was like, he didn't know this was happening, but I watched it. And the magpie goes, like, okay, because it was jumping up and down. It was so funny watching it. I was laughing because of the fact that I was like, we're trying to save your life, but you can't let us save your life. Okay, fine, whatever. And so the mouse goes up and down, in the grass, meaning jumping up and down in the grass, trying to find a way of escape. Well, the magpie comes down, grabs it by the head, and then flies off with it. No more mouse. We didn't have to worry about a mouse anymore. That mouse is gone. It will never come to our home ever again. Yeah, we've had that situation before too. But back to snakes. When I first came to Australia, I saw a big brown snake. And I remember telling my father-in-law, isn't that a king brown or big brown snake? First words out of his mouth, not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want those big brown snakes. Well, what happened after that is kind of scary because when you think about it, my husband could have gotten attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened is that big brown snake, we didn't know where it went. It went into the shed. I'm talking about the shed where my father-in-law has his car. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Jeff goes in to go get, the key for the house. And right down on that one area, but he didn't see this snake, and neither did the snake see him either, I guess. Or the snake was dying and didn't lash out. The day after, I think it was. Was it the day after, or was it the day before, or 2 days after? I can't remember. Jeff goes in. No, was it I that went in, or you went in and found the snake?
Dad and I went through. Sorry, what are we talking about now? Are you talking about when Dad went over that snake?
Yeah, and I think it was the day after.
Oh, after, yeah.
Day after.
Yeah, I found it.
Jeff found the snake.
Curled up next to the entrance.
Curled up next to the entrance, not very far where he went to go get the key.
So it lived long enough to get into the shed. Basically.
But it died before. I'm thinking it was dead by the time you came in to get the key. Because Jeff was safe. But that snake was not, it was a dangerous snake. Yeah, I have it right. Okay. Yeah, I have it right. So, long story short, and then when Jeff was working for the stop slow bat, I saw a king brown there. So I'm not saying they're not around. I just don't see them as often here. So, yeah, and then there was another time we saw, and I think in the time I've been here, I've only seen the king brown snake 3 times, and I've seen the red belly black snake twice. And I've been here for 11 years. Isn't it interesting? They are elusive creatures sometimes. So you don't see the snakes all the time. Over in the area we live, there is no crocodiles or no salt crocs, because we live over in the floodplains, in the pretty much where alluvial soil is. Then there's spiders. I see more of the spiders than I do of snakes. That's all I'm going to say on that. Oh, Murgles. How many times have I screamed, Jeff, get rid of this spider for me, please? Because I have a fear of spiders. I have arachnophobia. I'll be honest. I do have arachnophobia. And I do see redbacks here. Redbacks are like the black widows over in America. They don't have a brown recluse here, but they have more dangerous spiders here than they do over in America. Any day. They have the trapdoor spider. I don't think I ever seen the trapdoor spider, but I know they're around because they're over in New South Wales. They have the St. Andrew's spider, which is quite a pretty spider, to be honest, as long as you're not up near it. The St. Andrew's spider has its legs, 4 legs like this. Let's see, 4 legs like this and 4 legs like that. It's very interesting how that spider is. If you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. It's like the orb weaver. If you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. Trying to think what other spiders we have here. We have what you call the black house spider. That is poisonous here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff can tell you about a book. The 4X in this book is exactly Australia. That's why it's called 4X.
It's a book by Terry Pratchett where the whole book, of course, is fiction, but he likes to draw. What's the word? His fictional continents and places are based on real places. So in his book, instead of Australia, you have the continent of 4X.
Yeah. And what's funny is,
well, there's this one being that's in a magical library, and he goes, well, I haven't been to the continent of 4X for a while. Maybe I should find out, remind myself of a few things. Please give me a list of all the animals in 4X that are dangerous. And the person who serves him goes, Master, I wouldn't. All of a sudden, all this absolute avalanche of books falls on the guy. And he eventually crawls out from underneath it. Says, perhaps I should have asked for which animals on the continent of 4X are not dangerous. This single sheet of paper gradually floats down. And on it is written, some of the sheep.
Some of the sheep, that's it. Just some of the sheep is not dangerous. Everything else is dangerous. And it's actually not false, to be honest. We have some very dangerous animals here in Australia. Oh, I had to get rid of the, So it's quite interesting when you think about it. What is the most dangerous animal in Australia? Well, We even have some sheep that are not dangerous. But we have dingoes here. Dingoes is a type of dog. We don't have any big cats in Australia. No big cats. Unless you go to the zoos. Then there's big cats. We have Tasmanian devils. I don't think they're that dangerous though, but they are quite dangerous. We have platypuses. Those are dangerous because they have spurs on them. Then there's what type of fish is it? It's not really a fish. Well, actually, there's two things. There's the conch shell in here in Australia. They line the beaches over in Brisbane. I think they're called the conch shell. Not sure. But and then there's the something fish. And then we also have the stingrays. They are big time over here in Australia. But then again, I think they're over in Florida too. There's a fish I'm trying to think of that has spikes on it, but I can't think of it. That's just in the ocean. On land, well, on land there's more. But we also have great whites here. We also have some type of jellyfish that's really dangerous. I'm trying to think all of them. I don't know. Trying to think. 1, 2, 3. We do have the hare. It's not technically a rabbit, it's a hare. It looks like a horse almost, or a big dog that runs across the road. So, yeah, it's we have a lot of different animals that are kind of dangerous here in Australia. But do we ever see them? No. We even have we do have not the boa constrictor, but what type of it's a python. It's a carpet python. We have that here in Australia. But I would say we have more of the dangerous. How many did you say of all the snakes we have here in Australia? Out of all the snakes that is dangerous, we have 9 types.
9 out of the top 10 and
9 out of the top 10.
21 out of the top 25.
And 20 out of the top 25.
21 out of the top 25.
21 out of the top 25 snakes. Spiders? We have a lot of spiders here. A lot of dangerous, poisonous spiders. You don't want to go near a redback. Those are not fun. Not fun at all.
No, we're so fond of our animals. We even have songs about them.
What song?
There was a redback on the toilet seat when I went there last night. For example.
Oh, yeah.
Look it up, it's in there. Time the Kangaroo Dance Sport?
Nope, never heard of it.
It's a Rolf Harris one.
Never heard
Old Man
of it.
Emu?
Say again.
Old Man Emu.
Nope, never heard of it.
No. He's got a beak and feathers and things, but the poor old fella ain't got no wings. I'm telling you can run the pants off a kangaroo.
They have a lot of different songs here in Australia. That kind of sounds funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one that you do know. It's Kookaburra Sits in the Old Gum Tree.
Yeah, that one we were taught in school, believe it or not.
And yet you don't have any gum trees or any kookaburras. What's going on?
What did you think was the kookaburra over in America? What did you guys think a kookaburra was? I had no clue what a kookaburra was until I came to Australia. When I came out to Australia, I remember not looking in the old gum tree, but I remember asking Jeff, believe it or not, what is a kookaburra? And he goes and says, oh, it's a bird. What? That was my words. What? What do you mean it's a bird? Well, lots of times they are up in the electricity, whatever they're called. Electricity towers, not towers, poles, electricity poles. And they laugh and laugh. Oh boy, do they have an interesting laugh. I know exactly what a kookaburra is now. No wonder it makes sense to sing that song. Kookaburra sitting in an old gum tree. And it says, laugh, kookaburra, laugh. And yeah, they do laugh. Actually, it is their mechanism of warning you there's a snake nearby, believe it or not. Or there's danger nearby. That's why they laugh. Right, dear?
Say that again.
It's one of their warning mechanisms.
Well, it is. Yeah, they if they spot something dangerous nearby, usually a snake, they'll call out to let everyone else know.
And if you hear a kookaburra laughing, it warns you there's a snake nearby.
It's always calling out in the morning. It's like a lot of birds. It'll give a call in the morning at sunrise. But if you hear it during the day, look around.
Yep. So, I like kookaburras. They're really interesting birds. I found out it's a kingfisher. It's the largest of the kingfishers. That's what a kookaburra is. But yeah. So, kookaburra sitting in the old gum tree makes sense now. Because it says, laugh, kookaburra, laugh. I never even understood that at the time. But I found out what a kookaburra is. I didn't know what it was when I first came to Australia. I was like, what in the world is a kookaburra? Now I know. I always thought it was I don't know what I thought it was. Didn't think it was a bird.
Some kind of monkey, maybe?
Maybe.
Only we don't have monkeys in Australia.
No, you don't. But we have so many diverse birds here. Oh, Murgles. Talk about the birds. We have cockatoos. We have galahs. Galahs is like a pink and gray colored bird. Wait, I missed the count. I had to recount. 1, 2, and 3. Finish it off right in here. But yeah. I remember growing up, what is a kookaburra? I never even heard of such a thing. They sang the song, but I didn't know what it was. Come to Australia. They'll tell you what it is. Or come to Australia yourself and you'll find out what it is. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, we have some very interesting critters here in Australia. Oh, we have interesting names for them too. Billy Bong? No, not Billy Bong. What are they called? Murgles. Hon, what are the name of the creatures that not the knoll? What is the name?
Bunyips.
Bunyips is one.
Yowies.
Not yowies. I'm trying to think of the little critters.
For what?
The one we thought we ran over.
Bilbies.
Bilbies. And then there's also other little critters. We have the wombats here in Australia. They're a big marsupial. Trust me, they're a big marsupial. They're not as big as the kangaroo, but they are big. I guess they're like rat creature. Well, not really a rat. It kind of reminds me of a hamster. The wombat kind of reminds me of a hamster type of size. Not hamster size, but a hamster look of a creature. Am I right?
Sorry, a bilby?
No. A wombat.
Like a hamster? Maybe on steroids? Maybe if you blew up a hamster to the size of a, I don't know what you want to compare it to. They're pretty big. Wombats are not tiny.
No.
Well, not the full-grown ones anyway.
But they're marsupials, but they're not.
They're the size of a small dog. Medium-sized dog at that, actually.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want one chasing you.
No. Now, you know that whole thing from Looney Tunes when they had the Tasmanian devil? Does not look like that. But is as ferocious as they say. But it does not look like the Tasmanian devil. The real Tasmanian devil, yeah, they sound different and look different. I've never been in Tasmania to see a Tasmanian devil, but they are definitely interesting. But I've been to a not a zoo, but I guess you could call a zoo a couple times, and I've seen Tasmanian devils, so I know what they look like. They don't look like the cartoon. No way. They don't do that little twisty wisty. They do something else, don't they, dear?
Sorry, what does what?
Tasmanian devils.
Savage little creatures.
They are savage. And they make that noise. Oh. I remember when I first came to Australia. That was such a funny story too. When I came to Australia, I heard this noise. And Jess goes and says, "Oh, that's a bush possum." I'm like, it can't be a bush possum. It's scary sounding. Well, Jeff and I were going camping. And I heard the same noise as I heard that one time. I was like, no, I'm going to see who this really is. It was a bush possum.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a bush possum because I remember saying this.
Small creature with a big voice.
Oh, it's you.
So, I'm going to scare you. Growl, hiss. And look, let's face it, until you saw it, it worked.
Yeah, it did. It did work for a little while.
It's not even as big as a cat.
It's kind of
about
tiny.
the same size, I guess.
It doesn't look like the possums in America. A bush possum actually has a bushy tail. It's quite pretty. But
yeah.
they
more
are
technically known as a brush-tailed possum.
Yeah, brush tail.
But I think you have what they call ringtail.
No, I don't think it's called a ringtail possum.
Ringtail possum? We might have ringtails here. Can't remember. See the brush-tailed ones everywhere.
We have like just a plain possum. I don't know what they're called. They kind of have a weird type of tail to
Can
them.
they hang from the tree with their tail?
Yeah.
Ringtail.
I didn't know what kind of tail they had. I've been going on and on and on talking about all the different things in Australia and difference between America and Australia. And yep, we're good. I've been going really strong on this crochet, haven't I? Not even stopping. But yeah.
It proves that you do have marsupials elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, it does. But they're not as pretty as the ones in Australia. Honestly, when you look at a brush-tailed possum, they are the most prettiest looking possum I ever seen.
See, a lot of Australia's wildlife you don't see because it's nocturnal.
Yeah.
You have to go out with a flashlight, and then you have to hope that you can spot it before it spots you.
Yeah.
But not usually because it'll attack you, but because it'll run away.
Yeah. We don't have bears here. We have what you call a they want to call it a bear, but it's really not a bear.
Nope.
It's not a bear.
It's a koala.
It's a koala. Koalas are not bears. They're marsupials.
Mm-hmm.
But they are so cute looking, but they are dangerous.
And they stink.
And boy, do they stink. Ugh. Boy, do they stink. And you thought skunks stink? Come and smell a koala.
Well, I haven't smelled a skunk, so I can't do a comparison.
Skunks are really rank.
Yeah, but they're only like that when they're actually spraying people.
Yeah, but koalas smell like that all the time. And it depends on what they eat too. Like most koalas will eat eucalyptus, so it really does stink. So, yeah. Telling you a little bit Australia here and there. So yeah, Australia is very
and the other thing about koalas is like you can hear the David Attenborough voiceover. South American sloth sleeps on average for 16 hours a day, and the koalas are going, huh, amateurs. We sleep for 20.
I always love hearing my husband's voice, and he goes full on Australian. They always have a unique accent. I love their accent. I remember when I first met my husband, and I remember saying to my child at the time, I don't know what he was saying, but boy, that accent. I really didn't understand what my husband was saying at all. I kept asking him to slow down and talk a little slower for me. Now he talks slow enough for me, but now I understand the Australian accent. But it took 11 years for me to understand the Australian accent. Kind of funny when you think about it. But, yep. So, the only book I read, if I read any book, is Messianic or Christian books or something like that. I'll read that, but I don't really read any books outside. I used to read Twilight series, but I didn't know about the new Twilight series that they had. There was one that they are talking about where it's the new chapter of Twilight. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Didn't know that one was even existing. Never knew. Like I said, sorry about the yawn. I might cut it off after I'm finished with this one. I think I'll cut it off after this. After this snowflake. After the snowflake's done, then I'm signing off, I think. Then I have to do reporting. That's going to be fun. And yeah, that's about it. I thought you guys would like to hear what it's like in Australia. Oh, and the king toads. Now, that's not in the area we live. We don't have king toads over here.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway. But over in New South Wales, they're everywhere. They're up in the mountains. They're everywhere, aren't they, dear?
Mm-hmm. All throughout the Northern Territory and up in North Queensland and down into New South Wales.
They're a very poisonous frog.
Toad.
They're a very poisonous toad. King toads. I wouldn't want to touch them. I don't want to go near them. I remember screaming a couple times when I saw them. Didn't I, honey?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid of frogs or toads. Seriously, I'm not. But knowing they're poisonous, I panicked. Make certain you do not wear flip-flops or whatever you call thong. Over here in Australia, they call them thongs. Not a joke. They wear thongs on their feet. So that's why I said flip-flops. Flip-flops are the same as thongs. But in America, thongs are a type of underwear for women. So yeah, long story short, cane toads are dangerous little toads because they're poisonous. And the reason why they're poisonous is it's on their glands. I don't know if it's something they eat or what, but they you don't want to touch a cane toad ever. Or if you do touch a cane toad, you touch it with gloves only. Don't ever touch it with your hand. They are quite dangerous. But there is an animal here in Australia that can eat cane toads. Isn't it like a heron or something? Some type of heron?
Yep. Yeah, one of the stork type things.
It's like a stork. They can eat cane toads. But anything else, they would die. Cane toads? Pretty? No. They're the most ugliest toad I've ever seen. They're not even cute. Ugh. But they are very poisonous. Now there is a poisonous one called the dart frog, but we don't have dart frogs over here in Australia. But we do have tree frogs, which are really cute. Oh my word, I never saw it. I remember seeing this tree frog, and I told Jeff, there's a tree frog. And we looked at the tree frog, and it just, we were at a gas pump, or what you would call a petrol pump. And we were looking at this tree frog, and I'm like, Jeff, this tree frog is so cute. It was a green tree frog. It was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
No, go look up cane toads. They're ugly little things. They're not technically cute here. And they are poisonous. There's only one animal that can eat them, and it's a heron-like bird. They can eat them, but anything else? No. No. I think they're just basically, cane toads are not beautiful little critters. I mean, all of Yahweh's creatures are beautiful in his eyes, just not in my eyes. I'm sorry. They're dangerous. You don't want to have, you can't have your flip-flops on, or your, what you would call your sandals on at all, because you don't want that cane toad poison on you. So yeah, no. But cane toads are not pretty in my book. Not for me, anyway. I think the most prettiest amphibian I've seen is what you call a poison dart frog. I think they are quite pretty. I love the blue colored ones. But they're poisonous because of what they eat. Not sure what they eat, but they eat something that's poisonous, and that causes them to be poisonous. Cane toads?
Toads? No, they make their own poison.
No, I'm talking about poison dart frogs.
Oh, those I have no idea.
No, I found that out. But cane toads, they make their own poison. They brought them here because of the sugar cane. I think it was something to do with the sugar cane, because there was some beetles or something, and they were trying to get rid of these beetles that was eating the sugar cane or something like that, and they just rapidly, I mean rapidly, what's the word I'm trying to find, hun? They rapidly multiplied. They're not lovely creatures. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen king toads. They're not pretty, in my book anyway.
But yeah, if you're watching one, don't stand over them.
Don't ever stand over them.
Okay, because they spray the poison out of sacks on their back.
They spray their poison out of the sacks of their back.
I'm not sure how far it can go, but I just forget it.
No.
You have a better chance if you stand behind them, but not much.
We don't see them here in the area we're living. We haven't seen any king toads, but
no, my sister and brother-in-law's place. They live up north.
But we did see them over at my sister and brother-in-law's and brother-in-law's place. They had king toads. Nasty little buggers. Sorry, nasty little critters. You don't want to actually be over top of them because they can spray that poison out of their backs. They do that purposely. I guess it's a defense mechanism or something. But no. I would never touch a king toad. I'm quite surprised we actually have an animal that can actually eat a king toad. I'm happy that they can, but I'm still surprised that we do have an animal that can eat a king toad, right, hon?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We have poison dart frogs, but that's only in zoos and stuff like that. We can see those. But I think they're from South America. The poison dart frogs. They're tiny, but they're cute. But they're dangerous too. But we found out that they don't it's what they eat that causes them to have poison. So we're doing good. We're almost on the last end of this, and once I'm done with this, then I'll sign off. So I don't know what the highlighter poisonous toads look like. I have no clue. But yeah, cane toads. It's CANE toads. Not the most prettiest looking thing. If you're wondering why I'm wearing this over my hand, last night I opened something and a piece of foil cut through my finger. That can happen. It can happen. They hurt too when you get it's like a paper cut, but worse. It's a foil cut. They hurt. Oh, Murgles, that hurt like crazy. So on Friday, I am trying to make a decision. Should I do resin or should I do clay only? So we'll figure that out as we go. I'm still an artist. I still want to make a stegosaurus out of clay. I know the black clay is too hard to work with. The white clay is easiest. And I still need to work on, I had the teeth ready for the displacer beast. So yeah. We do have bats here in Australia. I think they're flying foxes is what they're called. They're a fruit bat like type of critter. Am I right, hon? Because I've seen the bats at night. So we do have bats here in Australia. They're more prevalent over in Killarney, big time in Killarney. Definitely in Carnum. Carnum, New South Wales had them really strong. But there are bats here. But they still fly over the area I live. So yeah. We're getting closer and closer to my goal. I have to work on these offline too to kind of get caught up because I really want to start doing the bordering, if that makes sense. You know what I mean by bordering. Basically putting the hexagon part of it together. Let's see, what else can I tell you about Australia? I will tell you Australia is pretty clean. Pretty clean place to live. They say that Tasmania is the most cleanest area of Australia. I think the place I live is pretty clean here. Pretty quiet, pretty clean. Australia is slow. Not slow as in slow, but what I mean is Australia is laid back, more laid back than the rest of the world. Once you do something, you expect them to do them pretty quickly. No, they make you wait. Boy, do they make you wait. We don't have guns over here in Australia, although some of the criminals have guns and they definitely have machetes. But only people who can have guns over in Australia is the farmers because of the dangerous snakes they have to deal with in the paddock. So that answers that question. We do have guns here, but it's only for certain type of people. Like my sister-in-law's husband has a gun only to kill off brown snakes, the big brown snakes, or the other snakes that could possibly kill his cattle. That's what it's for. We go by kilometers here instead of miles. We're on a different type of metric system instead of ounces and pounds. We go by kilograms and what's the other one, hun? Mostly kilograms, kilometers. Meters, those types. So we have that. The cars don't have miles in them. They have kilometers on the dashboards. So not dashboards, but you know what I mean by the speedometers. It says kilometers instead of miles. You get on the wrong side. This is hilarious to say this, but you get on the wrong side of the driver's side is where the passenger side is in America. And the passenger side is the driver's side in Australia. We drive on the left side of the road. Jeff?
Yes, there. We drive on the left side of the road.
That was something to get used to. I remember the first time I got into the car with my fiance, soon-to-be husband at the time. And he was driving, and I'm like, "You're driving on the right side of the road." I was panicked. "You're driving on the wrong side of the road." And he goes, "No, I'm not." I'm like, you know, that's one thing you get used to when you've lived here for a while. But when I first came to Australia, I panicked. It was so different. Also, we were close to winter at that time, and I was expecting to see snakes because they said there was a lot of snakes in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nighttime, and I remember walking outdoors, and I was like, really panicked a little bit because I thought there was going to be a snake everywhere. Nope, not as many snakes. I mean, there's snakes here. Don't get me wrong, but no, not as prevalent as they make it sound like. It did. And then there was that one situation my husband said I was his heater. I acclimatized pretty fast, but it took 6 months for me to acclimatize. And it gets really cold here in Australia during the winter, which it is right now, technically winter here in Australia. So yeah. So it's so different than America. Yeah, it does. It actually does. Water does flow differently over here in Australia. I think it flows toward the equator, doesn't it, hun?
What's that?
The water.
It's counterclockwise spin. If that's
Yeah.
what you're talking about, but that's it.
It's a counterclockwise spin. So yeah, it's quite interesting. And they drink rainwater here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
They drink rainwater here. The city water is really bad, and yeah. Well, I did really good. I think I did five. I did 5 think. 1, 2, 3. I did 5, exactly the amount I normally do. Oh no. Yeah. I did 5 snowflakes. 5 of them. In that talking. I talked about a lot of different things. I talked about what it's like in Australia. Another thing they don't have in Australia is Reese's peanut butter cups, Reese's peanut butter pieces, Reese's pieces. They don't have that. But I think it's time to sign off, though. I will see you on Friday when I work on. I have to make a decision of what I want to do on Friday. Do I want to do resin or do I want to do clay? Do I want to do resin? Do I want to do clay? I can't do both this time. Clay is easier to work with than resin sometimes because of the fact that, you know, there's not much room around here. So if you like my video, give me a thumbs up. Here, thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please ring the bell so you know when I upload another video. And last but not least, please comment. And I will be talking to you on Friday. Many blessings and shalom, guys. Talk to you later.